right, everyone. So having done with switches and all, the different topic we've covered, now we're going to talk about routers. Okay. I believe you have routers at home, you have modem and all those things. But let's hear the word, we hear the word router. Okay. If I want to go to Houston, if I want to go to Dallas or any other place, I have to choose a better route, right? I have my phone, I'll put a GPS. GPS will tell me which route to take, to go to my destination. Or likewise, I don't know how it happened. The planes, I don't know how they deal with air traffic controllers. I think that's something I would like to do some research to know how it also works out there, right? I can only say what I know. I'm very with you. I'm from Cameroon. We do not have I-135, I-35, and all those things. But the fact that we do not have that doesn't mean that we don't have routes, okay? We know our own routes. We know what to take when we're driving. Even by you have to trek by foot or you have to like travel, we definitely know all the shortcuts. So we also choose the best route. But that being said, what is a router? They said a router is a network device that directs data traffic between different networks, ensuring data is sent to the correct destination. Remember, at this point, it's a network device that routes data traffic between different networks, right? And well, maybe with that, I think by now you guys must have known what a switch is. Switch, remember with switches, we were talking more of like, LAN, local area network, right? Or VLANs, just there and switching, but in localized environment. But now we're talking about routers that, the routers actually direct traffic between two or more networks, make sure that those data is sent to the correct destination. And some of the functionality is that routers work by forwarding data package. Remember, at the level of the network, we start talking of data packets, right? I don't know why I keep saying package. For some reason, I kept saying package. Forward data packets based on the destination IP addresses. I know we all know what IP addresses are, but do we really know what that's an IP, right? We kept talking about IP addresses, but what really is an IP address, right? Connecting multiple networks, such as your home network to the internet if you want to go to the internet, right? Say, for example, if you want to visit a website today, maybe you want to visit UST, your router forwards a data request to your internet service provider, which then connects you to that website. I now, I don't know, I've been shopping a lot, right? First, I was with T-Mobile. From T-Mobile, I went to AT&T for some time, but now I'm with Spectrum for the longest, and I love Spectrum so far. Most of my friends, for some reason, they do not like Spectrum, but I really do like Spectrum because, again, it routes it, right? Sorry, because it's cheap, right? So I have it for my internet as well as my mobile services. I really love Spectrum. For you all in Africa, you have Orange, you have MTN. I don't know much about other countries, but in Cameroon, we have MTN, we have Orange, we also have like other internet service providers. So definitely this is exactly what we're talking about, right? And that's why if we look at the diagram we have here, you have all the different devices, in your local area network in your home. But say if you want to visit a website, and that's why you have a router at home, the router will take it to your internet service provider and it will definitely take it to the website. But with all of this, how does it really work, right? Remember, we spoke about switches. Switch have the MAC address table where they're able to understand, have the unique identifier for each and every device, and they know when and how to deliver that message to the intended recipient. Likewise, we said that the router also have what is known as a routing tables, right? And with that routing tables, it helps determine the best path for sending data packets. Remember, as I said, if I want to go to Houston, if I want to go somewhere, I have to put my GPS. There time your GPS will route you. Just that word is an English word. Same principle applies here, right? So it would definitely route somebody. And this is exactly what we'll be discussing. And here they say the routers work at the network layer 3 of the OSI model. And I promise you people, by the time I go to OSI model, you will be good 100% because everything will be like, wow, crystal clear. Is this it? But these are things that if you don't know, depending on who is training, who is teaching you, you might find them so complicated and you might feel like this field is not for you. I'm somebody that, believe me, like teaching images networking, initially I was so intimidated. I've been intimidated by OSI module. But I got to a point where I was like, you know what? One can read, one can understand if you put in the effort. And I hope you guys are enjoying these videos. It's been a lot of work and effort put into the development and creation of these materials. Excuse me. If you like it, don't forget to give us a thumb up, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to comment, don't forget to put your questions, and don't forget to share it with your friends and families. Okay. And then it said when you send a message from your laptop, the router checks the destination IP address of the message and forward it to the right network. For example, first to your internet service provider or directly to another local network device. Okay. And then the next slide is simply tells all how this work, right? If you look here, this is a message you send. It goes to the router, the routing table. It already knows have the destination IP addresses or know where to send that particular information. And in the course of doing so, it used the best route. Yes. Also, yes, it used the best route to be able to deliver something. And that's why you receive something, somebody will send you an email. Oh, I've not received it. It's taking a long time. What is happening? I hope you guys are understanding now. Just like if you want to travel and there's traffic, of course, that is really going to increase your arrival time. So router also determine the best routes to deliver the network packets. Then let's check some of the components and functions of the router. First, we've already talked about routing table that contains the routes and the IP addresses the router uses to forward data. And then we also have the interface ports, which could be physical or virtual ports that allow devices to connect to the router. And each time we are talking about this now, I believe you guys understand perfectly well because remember we have the internet port or we have the Wi-Fi and we know what it means, right? And then we also have the CPU, which is a processor that handles routing decisions and traffic processing. So it handles that decision, routing decision, it processes it and it determines, how and when to send that information. And this definitely explains all what we'll be discussing. We will look at the routing table here. Something we have marks, we have next hub. These are some of the things that we're going to cover. So you have the different addresses. You already knows when and who addresses or what to send, where to send. And you see, if we have to go with both, it's the physical internet. That means it's been connected to the physical port. But if we're talking about wireless, then, or Wi-Fi, then we're talking about wireless connection. And for the CPU, which again is the processors that handle routing, decision, and traffic processing, right? And let's talk about, again, in continuation of the components and functions. These are things that we've already covered. We talk of routing traffic. Again, it will direct data packets, okay, between devices to different networks. At this point, imagine an organization that have different locations, different offices, maybe some in Africa, some in Asia, some in Europe, maybe South America, West America, North America, Canada, but still within America, but in different states, right? Now we cannot be talking about land and a localized environment. Now we start talking of a wide area network. We start talking of different locations. And that's why the router now will be the person to be able to route the network packets between devices or different networks, right? Now they all belong in different networks. And that's why we use a router to do that. And remember, even when we went through VLANs, when we want to communicate, like one or two VLANs need to communicate, and that's why we talk about interrouting. So we need network admin will also have to configure that way to enable communication between one or two VLANs, right? Then the next thing that I know we've talked briefly is the NAT, known as the Network Trans Address translation, I would say this one translate private IP addresses to public IP addresses for internet access. Imagine we would go in there, like we delve into this deep shortly. Remember, imagine, we have a private IP addresses. You go to the internet, everything is exposed. It's not really gonna look good, right? And then we also have firewalling. Firewalling, we said some routers provide basic security. We hear the word firewall, right? Security feature by filtering unwanted traffic. And if you look here, this make perfect sense, right? We have the routing traffic. At this point, we have in the LAN, we are communicating now from one network and we're going to the internet to communicate to all that network. And if you look there, of course, you go to the router, the routing traffic, the router will be able to route. The router will be able to identify or determine the best route to take to be able so as to deliver that network packets. But you see, packets. Okay, not package, yeah, packets, yes. And then also when we go to the NAT, you see the NAT, you see we have different IP addresses. That's our private IP addresses for each and every device that's been housed or yeah, in the LAN that is, like in the LAN. But the NAT will be able to translate that, right? Convert it from a private as to a public network. And then you see firewalling, and we said that routers also come with basic features that might also have firewalls. And firewall is something that we're going to discuss in detail in subsequent videos or slides. Okay, so also have that, but it filters unauthorized access, right? So your firewall also have like rules put like denied, allowed that prevent unauthorized access. And I'm saying so because again, for our PCI DSS training, I really have some of the screenshot, like the actual evidence that one will be requesting you as an assessor or you working with a different teams to be able to collect or stakeholders to be able to collect the artifacts. So there's no way I'm going to be coming with network, firewall configuration setting, this configuration setting without you even understanding or having a basic knowledge as to what these terms entails or are make up of. Okay. All right. So talking of types of routers, we have first our home routers. These are typically used in homes or small businesses. They are constant or connect to the internet via your home service provider and provide networking through either your internet port or your Wi-Fi. That is clear. We discussed on that already and said a Wi-Fi router in your home allows multiple devices. Like now I have phones, I have tablets, I have computers, I have TV, I have robots, I have so many, IoT that are also being connected to my router, and in the course of doing so, many a time, all of these devices, I also use them to access the internet. Right? And this is a typical example where do you see again wireless, or maybe we have the internet where we have to physically connect it, but still, whatever the case, it goes through, either your modem or your internet service provider, and you're able to access the internet, right? And talking about the different type of routers. First, we talk about enterprise routers. Also, we'll talk about home, and just in continuation of this, it said use in larger organization to manage complex network and connect multiple branches or data center. And this is some of the things that we already discussed. If you look at it very well, do you see you have data center, you have data center, you have branch, you have branch, you have branch, you have network. So we have two different network. In that data center, you have like, devices, maybe a branch, an HR department, this department, that department, this department. Again, we can also use our VLANs to separate everything. But guess what? We are still localized. You have it in that network, and you can still, oh, we're going to go there shortly. I'm about to talk about subnetting, so you already have those there. But still, how would a branch or a data center in New York communicate with another network that is in Texas or in California? And that's why we start talking about router, right? So the router will be the one to help that communication between two or more network. And when it gets to that network, how is the data being delivered? I hope some of you can now bring in or blend the concept of switches and how data can be delivered to the intended recipient, right? I'm loving this feel. It's so sweet, man. I cannot lie. Then the third one has to do with core routers. These are high capacity routers used by your internet service providers and large enterprise to route traffic across the internet, right? And if we look here, this makes perfect sense. You have large enterprise, right? And then, of course, being used the core routers, so that definitely suffice. Right, and this is just in comparison of all the type of routers that we've mentioned. You have your home router, you have your enterprise router, and you also have your core router, right? So with that being said, I'm going to create another video on routing table and IP addresses. That way I'm trying to split that way you all can have a better understanding rather than putting 1 hour videos that some people might just doze off and be sleeping. So I believe this, we're still going to talk a little bit about router, but this gives us an overview as to what router is, the functionalities and the different types. And I hope you guys learned something. Again, if you are new to our channel, make sure you subscribe, make sure you like, make sure you click comment, make sure you ask all your question, and do not forget to share this video with your friends and family. I'll see you all in the next video.